keep it up. I'm turning on my Bluetooth because the Bluetooth basically acts as a microphone. That way I can step away from the camera with you still to get it. If it doesn't work, then we blame Mark Zuckerberg and all the problems are gone, right? Okay. So working in private practice is completely different. How many people here today, like I don't know who talked before me. Has anybody else been in a private practice?
No.
Okay, totally different, and I'm totally different. I curse in class, okay? If you don't like that, don't come study with me. I'm in private practice. If I wake up at 11 o'clock, that's the time I want to wake up. I have coffee. Maybe an hour later, I decide I want some whiskey for breakfast. I'm in private practice. I can do that. Nobody cares what my hair looks like. People know I'm a guy. My business is Robert Gardner Wellness, right? So a female client came in and got a session with me. When I first started years ago, I didn't know if anybody would come see me because I'm a guy, right? Because you have to trust me. Now, how do you feel about going to a weird guy's garage to get a massage? Well, you don't call it a garage, you call it a private home studio. And it is my private home studio, and as I'm working on this female client, she lets it be known to me that she was a little concerned that she might be dealing with a serial killer. And I go, oh, well, you've come in for the session. You have, in fact, met the serial killer. Why did you decide to come get a massage with me? And she said, well, when I got to your website, I watched like 10 of your YouTube videos, so I knew you were a professional. And I was like, well, I could be just a really good serial killer who makes good YouTube videos. Because you have to do the marketing yourself, and that's why I decided to go Facebook Live. Because you're not the only groups of massage therapists that I talk to about private practice. This is not the last time I'll be giving this, I think in a week or a couple days or something. Thursday, yeah, I think. I come back again to do this for another group of students. All of the places you've just talked to have one thing in common. This is a pie. How many of you like pie? Now, how do you feel when somebody takes half your pie?
No, that's rude.
If you're lucky, when you work for somebody else, they're going to take at least 50%. How do you feel about giving 50% of your pie away?
I'm not a fan. I feel good.
For years, I had one burning question. Why is it that a plumber could make 6 figures a year and I was broke? He has a skilled job. He does manual labor, right? It's in demand. But all those things are just like massage. Why do consumers not come directly to me instead of going to a place? Why?
Yeah, advertisement in word of mouth.
What, you don't trust a guy who works out of his garage? But the thing is, can you build trust? And the answer is yes, you can. But what you're going to have to do is use that. That is the most potent communication tool ever invented. I am constantly on every social media platform kicking out content every day. If I could afford it, I would have a videographer follow me around all day and document my life and just upload it to YouTube. Because in the end, you're coming to work with me. You're not working with a facility. And if you want to work with me, you want my flaws and my foibles, and you've decided that you want your massage therapist to be ornery, to not work like everybody else, and to hork whiskey every now and then. Because that's me. Now, normally, when I go out, I wear tie fisherman pants because I work on a mat, my clients are totally clothed, my sessions are 3 hours long. I'm not wearing tie fisherman pants because I have to give you guys the illusion that I am a professional. I bought this outfit at a thrift store. It probably cost $10. Do I look nice?
Yeah.
Because image does factor. Doesn't matter where you are, different facilities have a different idea of what they consider professional. And I decided personally, after 14 years of practice, to give them all the finger and go do my own thing. Because I want my hair long, I like my hair long, I take a bath regularly. I think what I do is just fine, but what I did could not be sold in Austin when I started teaching years ago. You could not do mat-based body work because it wasn't massage, right? So what did I do? Set up a website, I wrote a free workbook and gave this away. How many of you downloaded my free workbook off my website?
No.
Fail. If you go to my website, you can download a PDF of this. There's been over 10,000 copies of that distributed. Then I made videos to go with the workbook. Then the massage therapist said we need table ties, so I wrote a workbook 3 times as long. Then I made a double disc DVD set. Then I wrote another workbook that was 220 pages long that was going where I wanted to go, which was mat-based work. The double disc for this is about to come out. And then I wrote another workbook that was 260 pages long. And the videos will be out hopefully before the end of the year. Now, when potential customers hit my website and they see YouTube videos, social media links, he's on Twitter, he's selling materials, and now he's traveling out of state to go teach in other states, what do they think about the whiskey-drinking, ornery, long-haired massage therapist?
Knows what he's doing.
And you have to cultivate that. And you have to build that. And that is the most potent communication tool ever invented. How many of you have a website now? For massage?
No. Not for
Not for massage.
So here's what I think. I think you should start a website now. I think you should start Facebook Living. I don't know what the rules are with TLC now. You need to start educating your family, your friends, your loved ones. You need to start making YouTube content. You need to start interacting with people on Twitter. How many of you use Snapchat with any regularity? I'm all over it. You can get on Snapchat and ask me a question and I will answer you. And massage therapists freak out. They're like, we've never seen, I'm like, yes, you've never seen Eric Dalton on Snapchat because Eric Dalton is not on Snapchat and he is a dinosaur and I'm going to eat his eggs. There are nearly 200 videos on my YouTube channel. I produce videos with the Psyche Truth channel, some of which get 200,000 views, and which haters constantly tell me I'm fat. And you know what you do? You take out your video camera and you read mean YouTube comments and produce your own video that you upload to your channel. Because you got to deal with it. If you do not go out and talk to people, how do they know about you? Sarasana was the previous place who was here, right? They've got an advertising budget. What kind of advertising budget do you have?
Not a damn thing.
Yeah.
You have the most potent communication tool ever in existence in your pocket. What would Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln have done with Facebook Live?
Spread the word.
And the thing is, we love massage. We're trying to find clients because we want to work for ourselves, because we'd like to maintain our own integrity without sacrificing our soul and giving away half of my pie. I want my pie. I got bills. Right? Now, I have a home studio. For many massage therapists, that's quite controversial. Guess what my overhead is? It's a tax write-off. I write off a portion of my electricity. I write off a portion of my water because I do laundry. I write off stuff to wash sheets with a detergent. I write off if I buy sheets, buy a mat, buy tie fisherman pants because I need work clothes, right? All that stuff gets written off. When you write stuff off, you don't pay taxes on it. Make sense? So the thing is, how do you deal with taxes? You're a business. How do you deal with taxes? An accountant. You get an accountant. And the accountant says, Robert, you can do this. Tax avoidance is not the same as tax evasion. And I go, thank you, Mr. Accountant, sir, and you pay him, and he takes care of it, and the money you paid him makes up for it, right? Because he's saving you money and showing you that you can write off detergent. You're like, whoa, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about the fact that I could write off my work clothes or whatever it is, right? There's nothing wrong with getting a job out of school, working for somebody else. I can tell you that in my case, I was always the troublemaker. Every stage of my development as a human being on this planet, from the educational system to the jobs I had, looked at me and said, you are a troublemaker. Every boss I ever had was angry at me, and I could never understand why. And the reason is because entrepreneurship is the last refuge of the troublemaker. Because I think about things differently, and I'm like, why do we frost the cupcakes this way? Why don't we do it backwards? And they're like, Robert, we're frosting cupcakes, not making art. And I'm like, why? If we make artistic cupcakes, we can sell them for 10 cents more. That was how I always looked at it. But the thing is, when you work for somebody else, they want you to do it the way you want. They want you to do it. How do you want to do it? And here's the thing. If you want it bad enough, you can do it. But the thing is, I had to sit down and write this stuff. My practice, working out of my garage, pays for this stuff. I sell this stuff. I run webinars, give away free content. You guys heard about Thai Massage Jam? It's here at your school. I've given away what I did. I did the math the other day. It's from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Thursday nights. We have a chapter here at the school once a month. Based on the number of hours, I donated basically 1,625 hours of community service, giving away bodywork and education for free in your city. And you know what massage therapists complain about? Facebook ads are expensive. I spent $50 and I didn't make $1,000. Right? Because the thing is, you have to hustle. Nobody's going to advertise me for me. I have to do it. Right? I have to be willing to put this out. I have to be willing to be flawed. Because the age of Hollywood is dead, guys. Facebook Live is Hollywood. You have to draw your unique followers, and you have to do what you want to do. And how do you feel about keeping all of your pie? Because here's the thing. I want you to remember this conversation when you go work for somebody, and you get a look at your check, and that little crestfallen comes out when you realize where the taxes go and what you're actually making. Because you're going to have a very painful observation of like how much the person paid for that session and how much of that you were getting back. Now, here's the other thing. A lot of places, when people work there, do you do the work of bringing in the clients? Do you advertise the place?
No, not necessarily.
And that is why the facilities take 50 to 60%. If you do a very small amount above what your employer wants, let's say you work at Massage Envy, and I use them just because they're the most common massage provider, like they're the biggest spa. It's not to pick on them. The thing is, if you work at a Massage Envy, and what you do is you check in when you go to work, you check in at Massage Envy, it's like, hey, time to make donuts. People see that. You're advertising your practice through Massage Envy. If you educate those clients and give them the barest amount of like additional effort, where listen, you show up on time, you are well dressed, you ask the boss before you leave, is there anything I can do for you before I leave? Guess who's going to get a raise faster? What bosses want is for you to leave them alone. Because listen, the reason they take this amount is they have to pay for the overhead, they have to pay for the electricity, they have to pay for the advertising. If they own that facility like a Massage Envy, they bought into a franchise, which means they wrote a huge check to the franchise owner to even be able to put Massage Envy on the front door, right? You can use elements of social media to build your practice even within another facility, which is why I also bring this out and show it to you. That doesn't cost anything. It's free. Tons of free content. When you put out tons of free content, what do people think about you as a professional?
Depends on the content.
Well, what did they think? So let's say you and I are both professionals. I make content, you don't make content. What does the public think?
They know you better.
But it's not really that I know more. But the thing is, it's like if you don't exist and they can't find you. Now, when you look for me, if you know my name, you can find me. But if you look up Thai Massage in Austin, I guarantee you I'm going to come up on the first page. And that's how I win. Because I relentlessly continue to make content. You need a blog. You need social media. You need YouTube content. You need to educate people. You need to use Facebook Live, Twitter Live, Instagram Live, Snapchat. That stuff is not going away. It's going to continue to grow. And here's the thing. How well can Massage Envy use Facebook Live to reach out? But the thing is, we have personal jobs, right? People, our clients, want to connect with us specifically, right? That tool allows you to reach out to those specific people. It allows you to communicate with your target followers. I can't even recall how many times of somebody on the internet, being Facebook in this instance, will say, I have a pain in my back, and then somebody will tag me and try to get me involved in the conversation, and then share a video that's from my YouTube channel to help this person out. Now, that content is free. It's just stuff that I put out to help people so they can work on themselves. But if that guy's name is John, John lives, let's say, in North Austin. I'm in Round Rock. How does John feel about interacting with me as a professional? I just gave him some free stuff. I just showed him how to work on himself. I talk to massage therapists regularly who literally will ask me, if you show people how to work on themselves, why would they come see you for a massage?
The stuff they did on themselves worked, but you might work better.
Okay, so are there chefs who are like, listen, we can't give people recipes and teach them cooking techniques because they're going to stop eating out?
Trust you.
Right? So who here knows how to change their own oil? Who here changes their own oil? Now we know how. It's a simple, easy task. Why do we have other people change our oil? And the thing is, when people get a massage, they're lazy. They don't want to do the work. They want us to do the work. But if you connect with enough people and teach them how to work on people, that is how Time Massage Jam formed. Students complained to me that classes were expensive, and I said, Time Massage Jam's $5. And they're like, oh, but it's not really a class. I'm like, no, but I work on you for free. No, your sessions are $240, and I'm like, Time Massage Jam is $5. And they're like, oh. Because what people in America are really addicted to is complaining. We have a nation full of whiners. And if anything, one of the things I get frustrated about is people who are a little bit older complaining about millennials. How many of you in here consider yourself a millennial? Listen, if you give me these people's names and addresses, I'll go visit them and give them what for. I get sick of it. The thing is, people of the millennial generation don't just want a job. They want meaningful work. Now, when you work for somebody else, how meaningful is it? When you work for yourself, how meaningful is it? Because some people will ask me what I do, and I'm rebranding under a new name called Reboot, and they're like, well, what is it? And I'm like, it's kind of like what Uber did to the cab industry, but it's for massage. And they're like, what? And I'm like, it'll come in time. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Because that ain't the end. That was just the beginning, right? You have to promote yourself. What questions do you guys have about private practice? And if you give me a question, I'm probably going to repeat it so the audience at home, who's probably hanging onto their laptop, dude, they're riveted. They're like hanging out on Facebook Live. They've never seen anybody talk like this. What is this guy doing?
Are they giving them a thumbs up?
Who knows? Is anybody watching?
Yes. They like
To
it
build
too.
an audience.
Are you using a social media platform to do all of this stuff?
What do you mean?
How do you have time to post
How do you have
7
time?
different platforms?
All right. How long are you in the bathroom? When you go to the bathroom, how long are you in the bathroom? Twitter. Definitely Twitter. 5 minutes, Twitter. You've already got a photo that you took on Instagram. You can share it on Twitter, and you can hashtag Austin, hashtag whatever. Okay? So I work for myself. My sessions are 3 hours long. If I'm lucky, I see 2 clients a day. 6 hours. Plenty of time to post to social media. Might have an hour between clients. Sometimes I'll Facebook Live between clients. I don't care. How much energy did it take me to press a button? Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. Now, it's work, and here's the thing. A lot of people want to go to a place because when you're done with work, you're done. When am I done with work? Probably when they put me in the ground. 1. Here's the thing. Most of you, when you get out and get on the ground running, if you want to do what I do, here's what's going to happen. You're going to work 60 hours a week, and you're going to get paid for 20. How do you feel about that?
Sounds pretty good in the long run.
Now, the thing is, I had a client come in and see me the other day. I charged $240 a session. She gave me $300 when the session was over. She paid me $100 an hour. How do you feel about that? Twitter don't sound so bad, does it? Exactly. And the thing is, I want to give you reasonable expectations for what private practice looks like. I think initially, those first couple of years especially, you're going to have to work a lot to build a practice, to get regular clients. Once you get to a point where you've got a certain number of regular clients, it's a lot easier. Now, in my first year of private practice, I was working somewhere else. I was working on the side. Once I got rid of working somewhere else, guess what happened to my income? I took back my other half of the pie. That first year, I doubled my income from any previous year because I cut out the middleman. People were coming directly to me. I was able to interact with them the way I wanted to interact with them. I made the sessions 3 hours long, and they're like, I don't understand. I thought you did a massage. And it's like, well, sort of. What I do is make people better. I reboot my clients. Make sense? But the thing is, it's not for everybody, but I get niche clients who really like what I do. They write really great Yelp reviews. Twitter, bathroom, 5 minutes, easy. Hashtags. How many of you are scared of hashtags? Don't even know what a hashtag is. Well, it's enlightenment. It's a search function on Twitter so you can find people. So, other questions?
You were saying that you feel like you took back the other half of your pie, but I'm just curious, like, what you see go in taxes. I've heard that, like whenever you're working for yourself, you're spending a lot of money back in taxes that if you were working for a company that they would be taking care of for you. So how does that differ?
You get an accountant, you form an LLC, you shelter what you can, and you let the accountant deal with it. My bills get paid, and I double, essentially, my overall income. Yeah. Now, the thing is, how many of you get a deduction at the end of the year? Like you work somewhere, you get a deduction. Like you get money back, in other words. Yeah, private practice is a little bit different, but I can drink whiskey at noon if I want to. So it's kind of, back and forth. Yeah. I mean, you've got to deal with the finances. You have to be able to work and be able to pay your bills, which is why I say when you first get out, there's no shame in like working for somebody else. But I strongly recommend, and I see this with most massage therapists, where they're doing work on the side to be able to pick up extra clients. You guys have other questions? We still got plenty of time. Well, what, 5 minutes? Something like that? Was it 9:15 we started? Yeah. What other questions you guys have?
I guess like in regards to social media,
Yeah.
like how do you delineate between being like quote unquote professional and like not professional, I guess.
Okay. Increasingly what I do is I become more and more me and I don't give a shit. That's what it means. Somebody on a Facebook group I run called Massage Entrepreneurs, I want to point this out. This group, you can join on Facebook, it's free. I'm the admin. I get 3,000 of my friends together and we hash out what is marketing for massage therapists in 2017, what is real entrepreneurship. Guess what? We got into a conversation about social media ethics where somebody who sells massage therapists information said, do not listen to him, he's dangerous. He's a misogynist, don't ever follow his advice. They get very angry. But here's the thing. They have an economic investment in making you think that they are the expert. And you know who taught me marketing? Eazy-E. You know who Eazy-E is? Yeah. Eazy-E sold crack in LA because he was broke and he didn't have any other options. And then he took that money and he rolled it into making albums. They formed NWA. He made it. You don't have to go to marketing school to figure out how to sell something in 2017. Do they cover Facebook Live in marketing school? Mm-hmm. Because the game has changed. It ain't the same thing. You don't even have to save up money to buy a recording studio anymore. You can probably get some software on your computer and a couple of mics, right? It's different. Hustle on the streets. That's how I roll. If people don't like me, they're not going to be my client. I don't care. And the thing is, the more clients you get like the clients you want to work with, it doesn't matter anymore, right? How many people you really want to work with? I mean, really, you really want to work with? How many? Exactly. And if you have regular clients, you're like, whoa, I'm good. I got these people, I like working with these people, all the rest is noise, right? You guys have other questions?
When you've like been writing on your books and all your information, was it How did you, I guess, do that without taking, like, rewriting somebody else's word? You know, like, you just
no,
like,
I'd have any issues with it. That doesn't even bother me. When I was in school, I was a philosophy student long before I ever became a massage therapist. I could take a philosophy class, never take a note, listen to the lecture, and regurgitate a 5-page essay for an exam like it was nothing. Verbal content was just never a problem. That's one of my strengths. And also when it comes to video production, I consider myself fairly well spoken, even though I mention AZE and drop the F-bomb occasionally, which means that I don't mind being on video. You could pop up and go, "Break up, Robert," and we're on Facebook Live, and I'm like, what? What do you guys want? What do you want to talk about? It doesn't bother me. Everybody's skills are different. You have to find what yours are and make that work for you. Make sense? Because you're drawing your clients, especially when you're working for yourself. You're not working for somebody else. When you work under an umbrella, under like Massage Envy, like they want certain things to conform to their corporate model. What's my corporate model? Whatever I make up that day, right? As long as I can get the clients in. Do you guys have other questions? Yeah. Go. Don't be so
I mean,
nervous.
even the fancy possibly just kind of remind me of like Eastbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down? Who's that?
Do you know his name?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Like Clint Eastwood?
That's different.
I don't remember his name, I can't think of it, but.
Other questions?
What
Anything?
is your website?
RobertGardnerWellness.com. Just my name.
Garner or Gardner?
Gardner, Gardner. Robert Gardner Wellness. If you can't find me, just look up Austin Thai Massage. You can join the Austin Thai Massage group on Facebook. That's where we coordinate all the Thai massage jams locally.
When are you offering a class next?
Oh, the next class will be here in April. It's Table Thai. It's 2 days.
But every Thursday here you do.
No.
The Thai Jam?
So, no. There's another facility here in town off of Burnett that we do every Thursday night. We normally have a Thai massage jam the first Friday of each month here at TLC. We just canceled the last one because I had another work engagement that night. But if you're here at the school, the first Friday of each month, we have a jam here for like 3 hours. Yeah.
And then the other ones are every Thursday, but at a different location?
Yeah.
Cool.
Why on the Friday night is 9 p.m.?
9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Why
Yeah.
on website I cannot add link, I just put like and just send message to you only
What do you mean?
on your website.
What about it?
Facebook.
You messaged
I
me?
cannot add you.
You can't
a
message
friend.
me?
She can't add
I
you.
can message and just put only like, but I cannot add
Is that on Facebook or my website?
on your Facebook.
Oh, I have no idea.
She's saying she can't, it won't let her add you as a friend.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes people also, like, I think somebody was kind of asking before, like, the difference between public and private. That don't exist. I don't really do that anymore. All my social media is public. It's all basically for anybody. Lots of massage therapists in like other cities and states will find me and like my personal page. My personal page is still really business. So that's what social media is to me. It's not really social media as much as it's social marketing. I just give you enough content to draw you into my story and keep you going. And then you just try to follow me on whatever social media platforms you can. Because all of those I mentioned, I'm on all of those. I post content constantly. Anything else? We got to wrap up.
Do you have one social media that you find you get more results out of than others?
I think YouTube, probably because of search engine optimization. So you guys know that Google owns YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you were not aware of that, there's a reason. It's called search engine optimization. So when I make a video that says, hey, advanced carpal tunnel, why? I'm trying to get people who are searching for carpal tunnel in Austin to find me to come get a session. I get a lot of traffic from YouTube. It's also because of the Psyche Truth channel and the videos I put out with them, because some of those get like 200,000 plus views per video. And then the next portion is probably Facebook. I think that's the most active. Twitter for massage therapists is almost dead. I don't see a lot going on. And then Snapchat is growing, but Snapchat's way of doing things and following people is a little bit different. I think Snapchat is the most fun, but Instagram is growing really rapidly. Yeah, it's got more interconnectivity because of its association with Facebook.
Do you use LinkedIn at all?
I'm on LinkedIn. I don't use it a lot for connection. It just seems kind of archaic. I'm waiting for it to die. Like, it just seems weird to me. If you were looking for referrals, like if you worked at one facility and went to another facility and people could find your profile, that might help. It might also still help with backlinks for like search engine stuff, but otherwise I don't use it tremendously. I'm not on it often.
Do you spend a lot of time outside of your actual hands-on doing, like,
I spend 80% of my time marketing my practice and then 20% working in it. I spend more time doing this than I do actual hands-on sessions because I have to get people in, right? And I'm also building a teaching practice, which is kind of a different thing, which means I have to reach out to massage therapists because there's like 4 or 5 of you who said yes, and there's 4 or 5 of you, don't raise your hands, who said no, I don't ever want to take a class with this guy. And I'm totally cool with those ratios. Doesn't bother me at all. Makes sense?
yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Was that the last one tonight?
No, they get a
No.
break and then we have one more.
Oh, okay. Cool. Anything else?
No,
Sounds good? Okay. So, yeah, I'm available. So if you guys have any later questions, just contact me online, okay?
definitely.
Can you go ahead and press the